This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So let us start with the questionnaire session itself. So can you give a brief introduction about you? I mean, just a three line answer. It can be in which company you're working for, how many years of experience you have, and which technology you're working for.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I can start. My name is Tunji, and I'm joining from the UK. Yeah, I've got 22 years experience in IT. I currently work as a program test manager working on Azure cloud migrations from on-prem. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And who is on the call? I think Ali.
Hi, this is Ali. I am from UK. I have around 18 years experience in IT. I am SQL DBA. I am working on AWS. It's just like migration from on-prem to cloud, and I work on SAP domain since last 18 years.
Okay, you're working on AWS from how many years?
I had 2 years.
2 years. Okay, cool.
But we like I work mostly on SAP side.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, that I have. I think other people are joining. That's great. So I think I can listen from you guys that you have a lot of experience in IT. Apart from that, you have even working. I mean, you're working on some cloud technologies as well, correct? But why DevOps? That's what I have a question. Why DevOps for you? You can, I mean, because maybe there will be a lot of participants. You can just type it in the chat box. That will be the better idea. Why DevOps for you? What is your main agenda to join DevOps? That's what my question actually mean. There are some or other agenda behind joining this session, right? What is your agenda or what is your intent? Okay. DevOps for me to provide experience with latest IT technology. And Ali? Okay, I think we are getting late, Ali. If you have any intent or agenda to just start as DevOps, I mean, why DevOps for you? Okay, yeah. Not only, I mean, more organizations. Yes, right now, whole IT industry is talking about DevOps. From last 3 years, 3 to 4 years, learn new technologies. Okay, that's great. That's great. Yes, I think your answers are almost similar to everyone's who are actually in the IT market or in the industry right now. It's about DevOps is everywhere. Everyone want to take this DevOps. But what is DevOps? Why DevOps only? Why not anything else? How this DevOps is going to impact the industry for the next 5 to 10 years? And all these things, I think theoretically, everyone know about it. You can Google it. All the answers will be available. But what exactly in the real-time market, what is happening? Why DevOps for you as well? All these things we are going to discuss today. So I can show you the charts. You can see that what is the market in US, what is the market in India, how the, DevOps engineers are so costly in the market right now. Even though right now, because of COVID, recession is going on, but still you are getting a lot of opportunities for DevOps. Even if you can go to all the, job portals, you can see a lot of openings still coming up of DevOps. All the companies are going to, already started training all its associates in DevOps. You can see that almost 20 plus years people in DevOps in US, they are getting an average package of $126K. So it is basically very high and very good amount of pay check you are getting if you are in DevOps. So even in India also, you can see that it is around 20 lakhs. If you have at least 10 plus years or at least 15 plus years, you will get more amount of packages. Even they are ready to pay at least 100% of hike as well. But what is this DevOps consists of? Why DevOps? Why not anything else? Why, how this DevOps makes an impact? Hello guys, this is Santosh Dev. I have 3 certifications. I am a Kubernetes administrator. I completed my diploma in OpenShift, Red Hat, which is been certified. I am certified with Red Hat, and I am AWS developer as well. So I have almost 10 plus years of experience in IT. Complete in that, almost I have 6 plus years only in DevOps. Almost DevOps started in 2009. DevOps community the discussion started in 2009. But I started my journey 6 plus years back. When I started, there is no proper documentation available for any particular tool. You can see right now all the people are started documenting. You got very good documentation right now. At that moment, we don't have any proper documentation as well. At that moment, even AWS started coming into the market. Already it has acquired a lot of market. After that, already other cloud providers like Azure and Google also wanted to make it. Before that, AWS has acquired that market already at that moment. But DevOps made a lot of impact from the last 3 to 4 years. So according to my experience regarding IT, it is about 10 plus. But coming to teaching experience, I have around 3 years of experience. And as a freelancer, I was teaching. I was working for a product-based company right now, which I just want to I don't want to reveal the confidentiality of my company, but still, coming to my teaching experience, I have already trained 300 plus people. From in this, basically I was a professional trainer in the companies where I should teach my associates of my company itself. And after that, I have been doing freelancing, and I was teaching for different institutes. And in that, not only the teaching for students and all, I have even conducted 2 workshops for the college students, and I worked for 3 R&D teams, and I was an senior DevOps engineer, and I was right now working for becoming an architect in DevOps itself. So I work for almost 15 plus clients, all which consists of Lenovo, Citibank, a lot of clients are, a lot of big giants are there, which actually I work for. We have given the migration plan to them where they are using the traditional way of using, working on things, but we have automated their whole process, the end-to-end flow, and we have made the complete DevOps cycle. So now what DevOps is? Before going into all these points, I just want to give a brief introduction. What is DevOps? But one more thing, I just want to give you an idea about what we are going to discuss today. So today we are going to discuss about these 6 important aspects. That is, what is DevOps, why DevOps, what companies are working on it, and who can learn this course, and how you are going to learn after the course, what you can achieve. So these are the 6 points which you are going to learn in the next couple of minutes. I need your complete attention. Can I get your confirmation in the chat box? Can I just get your 1 hour of your time, at least 50 minutes of your time, so that we can actually understand what DevOps is and what all these things are. Can I get your attention over here for the next 50 minutes? Can you please chat, confirm your presence? Yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So here I was talking about what is DevOps. So it's very simple. I think you already has a great experience in the market who are already working in Azure and cloud. I mean AWS. I think everyone know about what is Agile. I mean I'm not the one who actually can tell about Agile. I think everyone are certified. Agile codes are coming up. All the companies are already transforming their complete infrastructure into Agile, right? So yeah, what according to you, what is Agile? There are different definitions for Agile, yes, probably, but what according to you is Agile? You can, yeah, give your answer in chat box. Yes, Agile. Okay, it's a framework for software delivery in general terms. Correct. Any other definitions? Okay, so I just want to understand what according to you is Agile, but let us go ahead and understand in a simple terms. So basically, I think if you know about, I can give a simple example to understand Agile. In our traditional way of doing things and traditional way of software development life cycle, we have seen a model called as waterfall model. So in this waterfall model, what we used to do, we used to basically take a product and we have to follow a process. Like first of all, we have to sit for requirement analysis, requirement gathering. Then we used to go for planning. Then we have to go for the next, that is about implementing it or developing it. Then testing. Then we used to think about this maintenance and support, or launching the product, and then we are going with maintenance and support. But the process is about the process of traditional way of launching a product is about taking a lot of time. Means in every phase we used to take at least 3 to 4 months of time, or probably even more. So because of this, the product delivery is getting late, and that is the major point where stakeholders are not ready to actually implement this old traditional way, that is waterfall model. Then they came up with some other ideas like that. In that is the best way of doing it is Agile. So what is Agile? It's very simple. With my example, probably you may get it. It's very simple. Here, if you want to construct a building, so how we start? It's not like at a time, if you want to construct a 13 floor building, you cannot construct at a time all the 13 floor pillars and all. So you will go step by step. You will go floor by floor. So here the first phase is like, first of all, you will take a first floor or the ground floor, then you will go for first, then second, third, fourth, fifth. So first of all, you have divided whole 13 floor building into small parts, or floor by floor. In the same way, here after completing, or after going step by step, so you can complete the construction of the building, right? In the same way, here Agile also has a step by step process. So what is this step by step, or a micro, we call it as basically sprint. So what is this sprint consists of? Basically everyone know about this sprint as well. It's a small, in an complete product delivery, you will be first of all dividing them into small parts, and each particular part will be considered as sprint can be 1 week to 4 weeks. It depends on the companies. It can be different. Different people has different opinions regarding this, and it depends. So basically in general, people will consider it as 2 weeks in general, and most of the people will follow this. So we'll take this sprint of 2 weeks. In this sprint cycle only, we will follow all these process like planning, analyzing, designing, testing, coding. All this process will be there, and we'll go for the next sprint. So in this process of completing the sprint, once the sprint is completed, we'll just give this particular whatever product you have developed, that will be given for a feedback to your client. So basically in this process, you will get a feedback from your client, or you will get a feedback from your customer. So the customer will basically tell you that, boss, this is not good, or this is not actually what I want. let us take one more example over here. Let us take facebook.com. So Facebook is the one which you can take. So in this facebook.com, you can take all the features. Like first of all, we'll take the login screen, then we'll go with home screen, then we'll go with profile, then we'll go with friends list. All this we can cut short into small parts, and let us take two features in single sprint. That is about login screen and home screen. So now in this particular sprint, we started working on it, on this home screen and login screen. Then basically we will definitely we'll complete the development phase and all these things, whatever the planning, analysis, designing, all these things, and we'll test you. We'll go for unit testing and all. Then we'll go for the next, giving it to your client, telling sir, we have already completed it. Can you please check? So then he will give his feedback, telling boss, this color is not matching, or this is not good, or these features are not actually on the market. I don't want this feature. This has some bug. So according to his opinion, he will give it. So basically, this particular cycle continues for an year, probably, for example. So in this particular, every sprint, we'll get a feedback. We'll get a feedback from the customer. But this particular feedback will be continuous. Means for every sprint, you'll get a feedback. So that particular point is called as continuous feedback. So the major setback or the major point regarding Agile is about continuous feedback. So how this continuous feedback impacts your particular product deliveries. So your client is in, basically he's actually giving you the exact content or exact intent of him. Like, I want this particular feature, the feature should be in this way, whatever he has some expectations. So that is being given to you directly. So because of this, you can actually change according to his requirements or according to his mindset. So it is very easy for you to communicate, and even the complexity of your problem is still small. The sprint, again, as I told you, it is about 2 weeks or 4 weeks. It will be having some amount of features. So the features will be actually changed according to his mindset. The complexity of the problems is also less. But what is not working with Agile? Then the word called as DevOps came up. So what is this DevOps? DevOps is a technology, DevOps is a tool, or DevOps is a programming language. What do you feel after Agile? What happened? So what is your opinion? Is DevOps is an programming language? Is it a technology, or is it something like some framework which actually he told that? What is your opinion, or what you have heard about DevOps? Quick. Is a framework. Okay, framework, in my opinion, which involves bringing all the development and testing and release process together. Okay, yeah, probably this definitions are there still in the market. I think everyone know about DevOps definition itself. The word itself, dev and ops, development plus operation. So the word itself is telling, but what exactly is the real meaning of it? How it is been defined in the backend in the real time? How it is been defined? So let me talk about Agile. There are only I don't want to talk technically about Agile right now, because a lot of things are there to talk about Agile, but there are two drawbacks, or I can call it as obstacles, when we are using this Agile framework. That is about, first is about, if you are working in development. So basically this problem comes in every particular team. Not only me, everyone has obviously faced this problem. Like for example, if a developer worked on development phase and he has developed a website or he has developed something, so now that particular product is being moved into production, then the team of operations, like for example release team came up, and release team started to place this particular product in the pre-prod environment, for example. So in this pre-prod environment, they have seen, the release team has seen that this particular website has a bug. Then immediately they will raise a ticket, probably, and they will inform the development team, telling, boss, this particular feature is not working, this has some or other bug in it. Then immediately development team will look into it. The backend, what exactly is happening is, because development team has only 14 days of time, or probably 3 weeks or 4 weeks of time in the Agile, they will actually some or other way manage things in the back end. In the front end, the feature looks the same. In the back end, they will actually adjust some or other feature, or they will actually adjust the code, or they will hard code the values, and they will actually push it to the pre-prod or the code repositories and all. So this makes a large impact in the production of pre-prod environments. But development people or development team will not reveal it. So basically, it may be offensive way. I don't want to be any single-sided one, but actually this is what the reality is. Development people will act somehow manipulate, or somehow actually will cover it up so that the work is done. So in the Agile flow should be completed, right? Anyhow, in that Agile time or the timeline or the sprint, we have to complete the work. So that's what developers do, and that code will be given to the release team. Poor operations team will actually, what they will do, whatever it is been given by development team, they will try to deploy that in pre-prod, and basically that will not work because there is some or other bug or some or other adjustment in the code. Now what happens? Now release team will tell that, boss, it is your fault, or development team should work on it. Then development team will pinpoint that to reverse back to release team, telling that you didn't actually, you are doing something wrong, and that is where that bug is coming up. It is your environment problem, or it's your problem. It's not our problem, because that particular code is working in my environment. So anyone face this kind of situations? Anyone has this fight of almost, I have sitting in these meetings of almost 2 to 3 hours of meetings, where we'll tell that development team should actually work on it, or development team will tell that you have to work on it. This particular fight, how many of you experience this? Every time, yes. This happens. Late nights also, sometimes that calls will go late nights, in weekends. That is horrible part, right? Yeah. So this basically fight is happening only because of the mindset, or the cultural or the culture which is been inculcated in every individual. So basically, that developers only focus on what exactly they are doing. Like for example, if they are developing on, they know about Java, they're stick to it. Means they are only working on Java, but they don't know what is happening in the operation side or the release side. They don't know how the code is being deployed, or how that particular code is being placed in the production, what all tools are being used, what all servers are being used. Nothing. They don't, they just will code it. They will try to do it in their small servers, which are, I believe so, very less, almost 5 to 6 times lesser than the production servers, and they will just tell that yes, this is working. But if we go for reality check, it's not like that. It is something else, because production is always an ocean. I always tell this, production is always an ocean, because no one knows when tsunami comes, right? So no one knows when this bug comes, or no one knows what happens in production. Is it correct or not? Perfect. So that's what, at that moment of production completely going down, users are not able to access your application or the product. Then basically what your customer or what your client will do, it will definitely come back to you, telling your team has some issue, so you have to fix it. In the meantime, your development team and your operations team are involved in a small meeting of fight, where telling that who is actually wrong and all these things. It may even more delay, multiple things might happen. So because of this particular small thing, probably it may be a small, but impact is very high. I have worked with one of my friend who worked for a big reputed company right now. He actually worked for one of the stock exchange website. They don't know that there is a small bug. Actually, he actually made a small manipulation in the backend, and he deployed it. In pre-prod also it worked fine, but in production it went completely wrong. The complete stock market or that website is completely down for 2 days. So which actually had a loss of almost in billions. So that created impact. So he almost reached a place where he's about to resign. So that actually impacted a very huge amount of loss for the company, and even the other company, the client company, the person who actually came up, the client is also not happy at that moment. So basically this also happens every single time. So this is because of the conflict between your dev team and operations team. So what should we do? So for that only DevOps came up. So definition is about dev plus operations, but it's not about definition. It's about the mindset. It's about the mindset. So every individual by 2025, every individual in IT should be a DevOps engineer. Otherwise, it is very tough to actually go ahead and deliver a product, because DevOps is something which actually inculcates some principles inside you. It inculcates some culture inside you. It's not about basically how you are, in which team you are in. You should be knowing what is happening from end to end. So that is what DevOps is for. Basically, if you are a developer, it's well and good, but your expertise will be developer, but still you should know about how the deployment process works, and what are the tools are being used, and what is the server is being used, whether it is a cloud, whether it is an which kind of inside, if you are using AWS, if you are using EC2, then if you are using EC2, then what kind of server it is it a micro, or it is an large, small, what kind of server you are using. All these points, as a DevOps engineer, you should be knowing. So that is what DevOps is for. So there are different definitions for DevOps, but according to me, DevOps is basically a cultural and mindset change of every IT professional to improve relationship with cross-functional teams, for improving collaboration, productivity by automating infrastructure and workflows. So it is very, I have read whatever on the slide, but I can tell you with an example. For example, we are almost, some people are there in the meeting right now. So let us pick myself. If I'm a developer right now, so I'm a Java developer, almost having 10 plus years of experience, and I even worked as an Android developer as well. So at that moment, if I only know about development, I don't know what exactly server is, which server I am working on. I don't know anything about production. I used to do just coding, and I used to give whatever feature I used to get. I used to run it in an Android studio, and I will just execute it. If that works fine in my environment, I will just push the code. So that is what we used to do at that moment. But after DevOps, when I started working in DevOps, I worked for, as I told you, I worked for 3 R&D teams. So when we started this R&D team, I was the one of the core member when we started this R&D team. At that moment, we got to know what exactly DevOps is. We got to know the core principles of DevOps. It's not about it's not a framework. It's not something we have to learn and all. It's a combination of some tools which actually can automate, which actually can collaborate different teams. So we call it as cross-functional teams. So this cross-functional teams. So for example, as I am talking about I'm a developer now. Now this development, as a developer, my work is only to develop. But as a DevOps engineer, my work is also to check what exactly is happening in my production environment, and I should know even what is the tools are been. For example, they are using Kubernetes. Kubernetes is one of the one container orchestration tool. So if they are using this container orchestration tool in the production, how that is being used, and what are the features Kubernetes has. At least if I know about at least some or other basics of Kubernetes, then it's very easy for me. Probably it may reduce the effort of complete team. So that is where this DevOps came up. The idea of DevOps came up because of that. So as I told you, in 2025, every individual in IT industry is going to be a DevOps professional. So probably he can be right now even companies started training their freshers as well, because in next few years, everyone will be adopting this DevOps. Now you can ask me who actually already adopted DevOps. You can see that on my screen. NASA and even the United Customs, that particular team also adopted it, and big giants such as Netflix, LinkedIn, AWS, Azure, Walmart, Google, Adobe, Facebook, all these already people are working closely with DevOps. They have their own principles. They have already implemented every single thing in DevOps itself. If you see Netflix is one of the major setback inside in DevOps. They are able to deploy multiple hundred number of times in a single day using DevOps lifecycle. So you may ask me now, what is DevOps? Now you told that development and operations. You told that every IT professional should learn DevOps, and every IT professional should understand what DevOps is, what DevOps tools are and all. But can you be little bit specific? Yes, I will do it. So you can see that the actually picture will tell you more words than whatever I tell in definition. So here in this picture, you can see that what dev and operations team has. So it's a combination, as I told you. So as a DevOps engineer, you should be professional, or you should be proficient in every single thing, from planning to release. Everything you have to, at least you should know, but you should be expertise in one thing. Probably if you are an Azure developer, or Azure, probably Azure DevOps expert, nothing. It's not it's not that matter, but still, that the point is about all this end-to-end cycle, from it can be from development to prod. Everything you should know in which particular phase, what is happening, which tool is being used. If you know about that tool, then well and good. So that is what DevOps is meant for. So DevOps is not about a framework, it's not about a methodology, it's not anything else, but it is basically a mindset change or a cultural change in every individual. So basically in the back end, it uses Agile. So if you're already using Agile in your particular environment or in your particular project in your organization, well and good, you are ready to launch DevOps, because basically the backbone or the base for DevOps is Agile. So most of the companies already started moving from waterfall to Agile so that they can, quickly get into this DevOps. So that is where even companies, big giants like TCS already has started, completely changing their even environments, even workspaces into agile way. So I think if you know about, if you have read an article regarding this TCS targeting 2020 to completely transform Agile. So already they have done it for 60 to 70% because of COVID. Still they are working on the back end, but by 2020 end, probably TCS will completely convert its workspaces also using as an agile workspaces. So it's not, DevOps is not about any single technology, it's about all the things. For example, if you are going for data sciences, if you are going for AI, if you are going for any other technologies, everywhere DevOps will be there, because it's not about any technology, it's not about any programming language, it's only about the implementation, how you are going to implement. For example, if you are traveling from one place to other, for example, I'm traveling from Delhi to California. So in this play, basically in this process of traveling from New Delhi to California, so there are different ways. I can go by water, I can go by flight, I can go by road, probably I can go by walk as well. But how fast you're going to the market, or how fast you're going to the destination, that matters. So basically DevOps gives you that fastness. So because of that only DevOps is been there, because this Agile is being again implement, this some more scrutinized using DevOps. So in Agile we have only one sprint, but DevOps will be, can make it into single day as well. In single day also you can release a product, or you can release a version. So that is how DevOps make a lot of impact. You can see that this particular slide actually tells you how Agile and DevOps are little bit similar, but here you can see that in a small cycle, or in a small sprint, even the Agile has more cycles in a single sprint than the Agile. Agile was only one cycle, but in that particular span only there are multiple cycles. As I already told you, Netflix is taking this DevOps, and they're able to do hundreds of deployments, hundreds of releases in a single day. So that is what the impact of DevOps is. Now the next point is about benefits and obstacles. I don't want to deeply dive into this because it's about completely theory. So these benefits are about product, continuous product delivery, faster time to market, less complex problems, more stable. So these are all just this is about theory, but the major point is about obstacles. Right now in the market there are no good DevOps engineers. It is open statement, because everyone are still adopting DevOps. Every company is right now trying to adopt DevOps. So because of that, everyone are training they are training their associates or the employees. But seniors in DevOps are very less in the market right now. If you are having almost 15-20 plus years also, probably you worked in some other technology. Almost for at least if you have there are very less people in the market who has at least 4 years experience in DevOps. So that is what market is right now. If you have more experience, well and good, that's what. So you may ask me, now I'm having almost this many, 10 plus years or 20 plus years of experience, or 5 plus years of experience, 4 plus years of experience. So how can I fit? into this DevOps? Now for that, I have some answers. So you can see that on my screen. So it's not who you are. As I already told you, the statement itself tells every DevOps, every particular IT professional can be a DevOps engineer. So even though you're working for non-IT, means you are completely a non-core guy, means you probably from an management background, or you are coming from any other backgrounds. Like probably I have students who came from support background as well. They have worked for multiple years, almost 8-9 years in only support. Right now they want to change the technology, or because of DevOps, the craze for DevOps, they just want to move ahead inside DevOps. So that kind of people also I have seen even freshers in my experience who has no experience at all in IT. So I even worked with them, and yes, they are able to grab the things, and they right now they even got good offers in the market and good packages as well. And as I am talking about, anyone in the market, or any IT professional who is working right now can be a DevOps engineer. But the thing is, only condition is you should be at least having some competency to be in the market. For example, I have seen people who came from medical background, like they have done some biotech, or just for they just want to come inside IT industry. They want to learn DevOps. At that moment of time, probably you may have some issues, like at that, because IT, the terms which we are going to use, or the way which we are going to learn is something different. Because if you're not and completely an IT guy, then you have to sit and you have to understand. You have to take 1 or 2 hours in single day, in every day probably, and you have to again practice as many times as possible. As I told you, if you are not having any experience in IT, then this may be the case. So I have seen students as well who came from medical background, and they actually learned DevOps, and right now they are working as DevOps consultants, freelancing, because of lack of experience. They're working as DevOps consultants, and they are actually working with different clients to implement DevOps and all. So that is what the impact of my course. I teach basically from basics to make you with an experience of at least 2 to 3 years. My particular course will include a lot of things. I'm going to discuss you about that as well. So this particular course will be having almost 45 hours of course content, in which we are going to cover all these things. You can see almost 10 plus tools are available on your screen, like version control with Git, build management with Maven, Jenkins, SonarQube, Selenium. SonarQube is one of the add-on which my course has. No other tutors in the market probably has SonarQube. And Selenium and Docker. Kubernetes I'm going to teach you about. I'm going to show you as well what topics we are going to cover and all. And yes, Puppet, Ansible. Apart from this, I'm going to even cover about, even though if you are not from completely IT background, or you are not from any, if you are from management background, if you don't have any experience in coding, well and good, no worries, because I'm going to cover about Linux and Shell and Python. This is about completely basics, where you may, yes, I'm going to cover that. Does anyone has to know what sort of experience is needed? Okay, does anyone have to know coding to be a DevOps engineer? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. So basically, no need of coding experience to become a DevOps engineer. So I have seen students who came from management background, medical background. That's what I'm telling you. So the prerequisites are only one. If you're not from IT background, I request you to take additional hour to practice the things, because my teaching is not about theory and all. I will give you a lot of homeworks. I will give you tasks. I will make you to deploy a complete website on top of a server. So the end-to-end process, or the flow, you have to do. So I will actually guide you, but I will make you to do. So that is what my way of teaching things will be. The prerequisites, I will. That's what I'm telling you. So even though you are from non-IT, anything, it's fine. I'm going to talk about even this, where you're going to do this, which environment you have to be, what kind of setup you should do, and all that points are also I'm going to cover. Just give me a second. So I'm going to talk about this course first of all. So what all course content you are going to get. So as I told you, we're getting almost 10 plus tools. Apart from that, if you're not from coding background as well, this Linux, I mean the shell scripting and Python scripting will make you to at least understand how the scripting works. So basically right now, every particular company or every particular organization is expecting some or other scripting languages. In that, Python is the one. Right now, you can see that if you go and search about the programming languages in the market right now. So 3 years back, Java is the one which is being most used. But 2 to 3 years back, the Python got the boom, and all the people started using Python. Already, the Java and Python are right now equal. That amount of craze Python got because of its ease, and even it is one of the traditional old language. Python is one of the old language, but still people started using it, and right now every particular company or every particular type of companies, like even in artificial intelligence, in data sciences, in all these things, in different types of things, they're already started using this Python. So that's where this Python scripting is. In this Python scripting, we are going to see some basic. First of all, we'll try to understand how the basics of Python work, and then we'll go into see in real time what kind of problem statements you'll get. I will make you to write one or two, I mean, some sample examples as well, and I'm going to give some particular real time scenarios so that you can practice and that can be used in your real time, and which I have also wrote. So that also we are going to talk about. And about shell and Linux, as I told you, this Linux is one of the craziest part. Basically, if you're not having any Linux background, probably you may not survive in DevOps world. That is a fact, because most of the production servers or most of the servers right now are being sitting in they are using Linux. So they're not going to use Windows because Linux is open source and more secure than Windows. A lot of features are there with Linux, so I don't want to talk about it, but still I think you already know about how Linux is being sitting. It's not about prerequisite. Even though you don't know about Linux, I will teach you. That's what I'm telling you. Yes, that's what I'm going to teach you. Linux and shell scripting as well. Shell scripting is a kind of scripting. Basically, you can write in Linux. Okay. In probably in what I mean in your Windows, PowerShell is the one. In the same way, in Linux, it is shell scripting. Okay. Yeah. Apart from this, basically this is what I think everyone knows. So the question is about where you are going to do all these things. You have told, I mean, you may ask me, Dave, you have told that installation of Git and installation of Maven, installation of Jenkins, SonarCube, Docker, Puppet, Ansible, a lot of tools are there with you. But where you are going to use, or where we are going to actually install them? So that's what the question is. So for that, we are going to use this AWS cloud. So on that, it's very easy. We can launch some instances. If you have some trial account, AWS gives you trial account for 12 months. 12-month free trial will be given, and some resources you can use. So with that free trial account, you can basically install all these tools, whatever the basic content or whatever the free trial account has with AWS, you can use it. I even got a question like, why not Azure? Why AWS? That is also a question from my students. I can actually take Azure as well, but actually Azure only gives 30 days of trial, and it will give I mean 13,000 or 14,000 in Indian rupee around. So that is basically we cannot use probably. So that is where AWS gives you 12-month free trial, and it actually gives some additional resources. As a starter, it is very good if you go with AWS. If you are working with some client, probably I recommend Azure right now than AWS. Yep. So apart from that, one more thing, this is very important, like what we are going to cover and what we are going to do. That is about, we are going to see 4 real-time projects, and even we are going to see real-time problem statements as your homeworks. And I'm going to give you some interview questions as well, because I was the core guy who actually interviewed around 400 to 500 people till now. As I told you, very less people are there with a lot of experience in DevOps. Because of that, because of my experience and because of my work experience in all 3 R&Ds, I was a core guy. Whenever a DevOps requirement comes up in whatever company I work, everywhere they will send me because of my expertise. So I have, as I told you, I have been interviewed 400 to 500 people in only DevOps. So I can tell you what kind of questions we ask, and I can tell you what kind of topics we basically focus on. So yeah, that's what. Probably if you want to switch from one company to other, this might help. Or if you don't want to switch also, this interview questions might help you that in real time what exact problems you will get, or what exact scenarios you may face in an interview, or probably that actually gives you more idea about it. And apart from that interview questions, this is what the main point is about: 4 real-time projects. In that 4 real-time projects, 3 are mini projects where we'll go, some tools will be gathered, or some particular tools will be configured or integrated, and I will make you to deploy a website using all these tools. So that is what real-time projects, but we'll integrate some tools in the first mini project. Second mini project we'll do in a different way. So in this way, we'll try to do 4 real-time projects. In that, 3 are mini and 1 is the main project, where we are going to use almost 7 tools. In the 10 tools, we are going to use 6 to 7 tools, and we are going to deploy your particular website on different environments as well. So we are going to take the containers in Docker, and we are going to deploy in different environments as well. If you have 3 different environments like dev environment, and probably pre-prod, testing, there are different. If you consider the 3 different environments, we are going to just write a code and send it immediately. That particular cycle will basically push that particular code on 3 different environments. How we are going to do it, that actually we are actually seeing in the course as well. So apart from that, what all things you are going to get after completing of your course? So probably you can add at least 2 to 3 years of DevOps experience to your resume. My particular course will give you an value of at least 2 to 3 years experience. If you are a techie already, if you have more experience, you can add even more amount of experience as well. If you're a quick learner, yes, you can add even more amount of experience, because it's not about how much experience you add to your resumes or whatever, but it's about how much you learned. So I have seen a lot of interview, or the people I interviewed, a lot of people used to tell, I am a AWS developer, I am a certified AWS developer, a lot of things. They used to be having a lot of certificates and all, but still if I ask a basic question also, they're not able to answer. I have seen this. I have literally seen this. They in their resume, they are actually pointing that I am a AWS developer, but if I ask them a basic question, not able to answer. That's what. So that is where right now, candidates are, that's where this even recession came up because of COVID. I think you can see that there are a lot of mess in all the IT industries, a lot of on-site opportunities lost, a lot of people lost their jobs. In US, if you can see, lot of jobs have been lost. In India also, there are lot of mess going on. So that's what it is, because of we are not able to upgrade with the technologies. The clients are expecting that, and the customers are expecting that. So you can add on according to your particular requirement. According to me, with my experience, I can tell if you can add up to 2 to 3 years of experience into your resume. And apart from that, I am going to provide you 4 DevOps resume templates. If you want to change your job, or if you want to looking for a new job, definitely this particular resumes might help. Apart from that, in that particular resumes, you can see the real-time roles and responsibilities. After completing the course, definitely that roles and responsibilities, if you read the roles and responsibilities, then definitely you'll get a click like, yes, I have done this. I have done this in our course. I have done this particular task in my course. So all these things you are going to understand by actually seeing this DevOps resume templates, which I'm going to share. So this actually covers almost from 3 years to 10 plus years of experiences. The resume covers all these things. And yes, this is one of the major thing that is, you can implement DevOps in real-time applications as well. If you are working in already a project, you can actually take that and you can straightforward do and try this DevOps, whatever you have learned, and you can actually make a difference in your company and in your particular in your particular team. You will be a standalone person, or you will be a star, because DevOps is something every client is looking for, and every customer is looking for. And the most important thing is about, you can upskill your knowledge and upskill your package. So probably this sounds a little bit awkward or weird, but still this is the fact. So you can upskill your knowledge and upscale your particular package. If you want to change the company, yes, you can upscale your package. People are ready to actually pay you more. I have seen people from no knowledge in Linux, nothing. They just came from support. They are having some 8 years or 9 years of experience, having a 5-6 lakhs of package probably in India, 5-6 lakhs of rupees in India probably, and they have been almost 150% or 120% hike because they got very good amount of offers in their hand, and that too in big companies. So I have seen that. So I mean, because whatever I have taught, it is completely about real time and real time applications. So that is whatever experience I have, in R&D, that too. So my R&D experience is about completely experimenting. I know if you know about R&D, anyone know about R&D? Anyone worked in R&D probably? If probably yes, please type as in the chat box. If no, please let me know. Okay, no. Okay, then that's good. Basically, R&D is, we are so crazy. We actually do a lot of experiments, and we actually go and learn a lot of technologies. I have learned a lot of technologies in this express. I mean, in DevOps, in my DevOps journey. Because of that only, I even has a passion of teaching, because I have a lot of knowledge regarding different tools, different migration plans, a lot of things. So we have done a lot of crazy stuff when we are learning DevOps. DevOps is basically an ocean. A lot of things are there to learn in DevOps. But yeah, you should have a strong foundation. So that's what I can tell. You can upskill your knowledge and upscale your package. Yes. Apart from that, nothing else from my side. And as I told you, we are going to see tomorrow as well. We are going to see how we are going to install some tools. I'm going to take 1 or 2 tools, that is about Git and Maven probably, and I'm going to show how we can actually do that on top of your particular environment like AWS and all. Apart from that, we are going to see even DevOps terminologies. Tomorrow's session is about how, first of all, DevOps terminologies work. I think if you are listening about DevOps, you may listen about some words called as CI/CD, and there are other terms as well, even pipeline. There are a lot of terms whenever you listen about DevOps. So let us try to understand what they are and how they works. And apart from that, we are going to see even how we are going to install. I'm going to show you 1 or 2 tools, how we are going to install the tools on top of their, on that particular environments, or on EC2 instance or on AWS cloud. So that's it, guys, from my side. If you have any questions still, please let me know in the chat box. Any other questions, any other queries, any confusion still, or you didn't get anything else? Yes, as I told you, it's about 45 hours. I cannot assure you regarding how many days. It depends on you guys. If you are quick, I can complete in 30 days itself before, or if we are actually trying to understand it in a more or script, or in a more, in a good way, probably it may take about 45 days as well, or 50 days. According to me, on an average, if you are on an average, I'm telling, on an average also, if we take 1 hour a day, if you connect on weekends as well, it depends. So it actually depends on weekends, or we are going to take a batch, or weekdays. So if you are taking at least a week, if you are going with 5 to 6 hours of class, probably we may take around 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks probably. So that's what it depends on us, how we are going to do. Yes, we are going to go live. Yeah, we're going to go live. Yeah, Ali, regarding that, for now we are going ahead with weekend batches only. So you can check with the team. I think Sridevi ma'am is in the call, so you can check with her regarding the timings and all these things, all this stuff. You can check with her. Anything else? Does we also get a reference of what to read? Yes, you will get all the material, and I will tell you how to record the sessions as well. You can record your sessions. Yes, I will give you the user guide. I'm going to share you the documents. I have a lot of documents with me. Probably I will share my screen. Yes, give me a second. I have a lot of documents with me. I'm going to share you all the documents. We have a repository as well where you will get all the material, all the installation process, all the installation things. Everything will be is already documented. No worries about it. You can see that all the materials are there with me. I'm going to share you all these things, and I'm going to guide you how the flow works. What is the flow we are going to, that I'm going to decide, and I will give you the reference. What to read in addition to the course? Yes, as I told you, we are going to take this AWS, where that is about 12-month free trial. So you can, in your free time, you can connect into it and you can practice. And as I told you, you can also, I will tell you how to record. If I want, we can record and we can give you, that is also there. But still, I believe that, yeah. So for that, yeah, that's what you can ask Sridevi ma'am. Ma'am, can you please jump in and answer a few questions? I think she's on mute.